Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3Stacks in this thing, baby. Representing Team Kings of Games, and today I'm actually gonna be showcasing more of like a euphoric duel. So like I was piloting my dolls, just doing some grinds, testing the build, seeing how good it is against the meta, and then I ran into a BA player. So I really wanted to upload this duel after, because it ended up being such a good duel. I played through so many interruptions, like I'm talking about like ice prisons, D barriers, dino mistresses, infinite impermanences, just so many interruptions, and just continue to just like snowball out of control. This really shows like which deck is better. Like given like the circumstances of like how people build the decks is different. Like there's different BA variants and there's different SHADDOLL variants, but like these two decks being paired up against each other are in their purest forms. This is pure BAs, not PK Fire, and this is pure SHADDOLLs, not Invoke SHADDOLLs. It's just showing which one's really stronger because we entered a grind game that did last quite a while, but it just showed that SHADDOLLs had a better grind game and we had a better toolbox, a better like just floodgate in general, and just more utility for the back row and for the graveyard. Cards like Dragon and Neo SHADDOLL Ariel are really good in this matchup. So you guys are going to see, I'm not sure if I won the dice roll. Let me check. I'm just going to press play. Oh, here I was just, I normally say that to all my opponents, and sometimes I get weird reactions off of it. So please tell me I'm going first. Yes, this is crazy. Oh, yes, I won the dice roll. And I have combo in my hand. I have Mathman, Poly, a doll, and a light. This might not be a good doll, but as long as I can summon Construct, because Construct is just a super overpowered card. Like, that card is just so busted, it's crazy. Like, to this day, Construct is not power crept to me. Construct is a great tempo card. It just takes command of, like, most duels that you summon her, and with all of her effects, you just get so far ahead. And this deck's recovery is ridiculously good. Unfortunate for him, he only has one BA, but he has a bunch of traps. These are all really good against his deck. Banishing's good. Both these banish. Imperm's good to stop all the chain blocking. And then D barrier is amazing even if he ends up going second, because he could turn off my next turn. So like from the standpoint of pure balls against BAs, both our hands are good. My hand's good. I can set up like multiple fusion plays. I can get my graveyard fixated, and I can also get access to a couple SHADDOLL spells and traps in rotation. So let's go ahead and just press play. So here, I'm starting off, so I'm probably just going to normal that Mathman. Mathman's effect. He's not going to stop that. I use Hedgehog to search out my Windy. Yeah, my Windy. And then here, I'm just going to go ahead and Poly, send the Golden Lord and the Windy Construct. So I said Construct when Windy 2. He's going to imperm my Construct. So I just special summon the Ariel. The reason why I still special summon the Ariel is because I had the Incarnation in hand. So I decided to use my Golden Lord as an extender. So my plan was to combo through the imperm. I was basically just going to set my rest, send it off with Golden Lord to special him, which puts another light body on field, gets rest. Then I can like link my construct off and basically use the Russian Incarnation to flip the the Ariel and bring the construct back, so I can like get the dump that I originally wanted before he imperm me. So, like I could just play through the imperm. So press play. So that was like a kind of cool, like it's somewhat big brain play, but I think that's a easier one to catch. I don't think that was like required too much planning ahead. So now I'm just gonna go on a cross sheep. I'm just gonna fast forward here, and then set rest special the Golden Lord, and then I'm gonna flip Ariel, and yeah, I'm just gonna chain block here. I'm gonna dump El SHADDOLL Fusion, bring Windy back off of the cross sheep. I played a little bit too safe here. I think I should have just went for the construct link 2. Should have went with Ariel and Windy to summon the link 2 construct that requires 2 flip effects, and then fuse off again so I can get access to Schism or another Incarnation. But I just played it a little too safe, so I just went straight for Opelusa for 4 materials, which is a fat Opelusa. I don't know what deck I'm on. This is not going to be that great against his hand. It's good against this deck because the BA's effects, the special, are actual effects, and Tour Guide's a good card, but for this particular hand, Opelusa is not really doing anything to that. So I think I was a bit too conservative here. I definitely could have fusion summoned one more time, or possibly 2 times, but I held my L. I didn't commit to the SHADDOLL Link 2 because I still could have ended on Oppo with just less materials, but with more SHADDOLL cards in rotation. So I definitely should have pushed a little bit more, but it is what it is. I set my L past. He's gonna normal Libic, declare an attack on Windy. Just confirming he normal summoned it, because sometimes people will not reveal them, they'll just special them, and you'll be like, bro. So here, I just decided to summon a Construct, and I used Windy to special summon Falco, and I used Construct to dump the SHADDOLL Fusion to basically pressure him, since he has to get through Appaloosa, and he's already thrown his battle phase. The SHADDOLL Fusion is like a really good mind game, which is another thing I really like doing with this deck, because it pressures your opponent to where now they know that you have access to it, and they're really scared to go into the extra deck because they know they can OTK you since they've already thrown their battle phase, and it makes them really, really scared to commit. Even though his hand, he can't go into Dante, he would have thought twice about going into Dante, because people will not go into their extra deck just to play around SHADDOLL Fusion. So this is almost like a pseudo Buster Lock, or a pseudo like extra deck lock, in a sense that some people will commit, but smart players won't, because they don't want to give you that much resources when all they're going to do is literally just summon a Dante. You know, like, you're not summoning Beatrice. If you're just summoning Dante trying to mill 3 random cards, that value is not worth the value that your opponent will get off the fusion. So I love summoning Construct and using her effect to dump this on my opponent's turn, because it just puts that pressure on them. Like, this deck is just so skillful. I think this should all like just have to have the right pilot for this deck to be good in this format right now. So I'm just going to fast forward. He's going to set 4 traps. Oh no, he's going to set 3. Oh, you know what? One of these must be Dino Missions. Yeah, that's why. So I said draw phase, and he waits for my standby. He's going to Ice Prison, and he's going to banish both my Constructs. And fast forward. He was just saying that Appaloosa and Construct are both fairies. Okay, and then I'm just gonna flip Falco here. I do believe that yeah, I'm not sure if he's gonna Dino yet, but let's just go ahead and press play. Fast forward, Construct. I'm gonna bust out the aerial, because he just banished my Constructs, both of them with Ice Prison. Ooh, that's going a little too fast. So I decided to bring aerial back. Truth be told, to get even more advantage, I should have got Windy. But if he doesn't attack into Windy on his turn, I have to flip her and then summon to my aerial and then wait another turn. It does give me more bodies just to grind, but getting aerial right now means my next turn I flip him and I summon Construct. I didn't know he had D barrier, you know, I didn't know he was main decking it, but that's what I pretty much did to play through the Ice Prison. I just pretty much used Falco to get the aerial, and then I think here, yeah, I set the Hedgehog. So yeah, that's what I did. I flipped Falco, special the aerial. I set Hedgehog, attacked for what is it? 20, 24, 32 plus 6. That's 38. Then I passed. He set Trap Trick and he passed, so it's now back to my turn. I had it on fast forward. That's why it's going so fast. And I flip Hedgehog here. I use his effect. He says okay. So I think I added the El SHADDOLL Fusion. The reason why I added L, because I could have added Resh, which is better for the grind right now, because I'm up against a trap deck. I need to like use Resh. Once I get Carnation on, get her online, I want to go for Incarnation, start looping Construct, dumping Dragons and Aerials to banish his BAs and pop his back rows with Dragon. But I grabbed L because I needed my aerial to resolve. So I was trying to play around Imperm here, just thinking maybe he was holding it. So like if I flip aerial and target Construct and he chains Imperm, I could chain the El SHADDOLL Fusion to fuse off with this and the Dragon to go into an Al Capone. And that way this will resolve, busting out my Construct. Then I get Dragon to pop another back row. So I could theoretically bait 2 back rows, the Imperm and another. But I was also playing around an Imperm he didn't have. I mean, I know he plays it because he used one already, but he didn't have it this time. So instead, he's going to D-Barrier. Because like I'm using Aerial right now to target a Banished Construct. And he's going to call Fusions with the D-Barrier. I do decide to basically go ahead and chain. I didn't have to, because truth be told, if I waited a turn with L, these got their graveyard effects now. So I should have held my L. It doesn't make a huge difference, but from a marginal standpoint, for your resources to be used as much as inefficiently as possible, L would have been correct on my opponent's turn because now I can use this effect or this effect or this effect, any combination of two of these or one of these plus a dragon just by fusing on his turn. But I chained the L, which I definitely, moving forward, I don't think that was the correct play. I summoned Winda though, and I go Dragon 1, Falco 2, target the Dinomishus. That forces him to just shotgun it and banish my Appaloosa. Appaloosa was just there. He wasn't really doing too much, so I'm going to fast forward here. So I set my Falco, and then at the start of my battle step, he's going to go ahead and trap trick for the Ice Dragon's prison and bust out Dinomishus. I recently learned from somebody that you pretty much get priority in every phase, and I really didn't believe him, but maybe you guys can confirm that, because I'm still kind of not understanding that. I know that you get priority in your main phase, but an opponent I was playing on DB was trying to tell me you get priority in every phase. That kind of doesn't make sense to me, so I don't really know. I don't believe that, but anyway, start a battle phase. He's going to trap trick into prison. He's going to prison. You know, he gets Dino first. He's obviously going to banish my Winda. So it's a good thing, I guess it's a good thing that I did summon Winda now, because I forced him to shotgun all his traps. So I just burned through all his back rows. And like while he has really good traps, he's been banishing my cards with Prison and Dinomishus, and you know, he debarred me. The problem is he doesn't have the same board presence that I have. He doesn't have the same recovery. Just this Falco face down alone is good enough. So here, you know, I did like I had a brain fart because he basically prisoned to banish my Winda, and he banished something else. Yeah, he banished Winda and Dragon off the Ice Dragon's prison. What I do next is I take the Falco and the Hedgehog, and I basically link those off into the construct. And I tried to use with my Falco. So my bad, it was Hedgehog and Aerial. I tried to take my Falco and my construct to fuse into a construct, and then he reminds me that I am under dimensional barrier. And I was like, oh my bad, I almost forgot. So I put those back. That's easy to repair. It's not an irreparable game state. And I just pass. He goes to battle phase. He's going to crash the construct with this Dinomishus, so that way he has like a non-BA. So it was really clutch for him. That was like perfect statistics for him to deal with construct and get like his non-BA off the field. So now he's just going to special summon Seer in defense, and he's just going to pass. Ooh, excuse me. If I was him, I probably would have just set the Seer. Like, I would have just set it so I won't know what it is. So now, we're both low resources, but my grind game's like 100% better than his. The reason being is because, like, BAs grind from their grave, and so do SHADDOLLs, but SHADDOLLs have a card called Aerial that can literally attack the grave. So I bring back Windy from the Banish Zone off of Falco. And then I use the Construct Link effect from Grave because I properly summoned it last turn. This card is so good, by the way. I don't understand why Shadoll players don't play this. And he's going to scoop because he already knows what's coming next. Like, I'm about to start snowballing out of control. I'm going to use Construct. So basically, if you guys saw my last turn, before I made any big plays, all I had was Falco and a Beast. So then I flip Falco, special summon Windy from Graveyard, use this to send my Beast to special itself from grave, draw one card, fuse off with this and Windy into a construct Windy. That's a whole nother combo. I'm getting way farther. So he had all those traps and it still didn't do anything. So press play. I'm just going to fast forward here. And obviously I've had a strong feeling he was back row hate. Now let's see my opening hand. So he opened with Tour Guide. I'm going to Valor him. And he has Graph, Imperm, Dino, and Ash. Dang, that's actually pretty good, not gonna lie. Like, even if he lost the dice roll, having Imperm and Ash against Shaddolls, that's really, really good. Because this could stop Fusion if I opened it, or it could stop a starter like Fight for Patchwork. Then if I still fuse that he can Imperm my Construct, it could slow me down, for sure. And then having a follow-up Tour Guide, that's great. 2 hand traps and a starter. I just have 1 hand trap and 1 starter, no Fusion outlet right now, so his hand's definitely better than mine. So he's just gonna set his 2 traps and pass. Oh, so here I know the math man. I think he's gonna imperm that. Yeah, I think because like if he doesn't, I could send Dragon and then his imperm would die anyway. So you might as well just imperm, right? So here, I decided to actually pass. So the reason why I passed, even though it ended up not working out in my favor, is because like I could kill the tour guide and I could get 500 damage in. But my theory behind not attacking the tour guide was I wanted to leave a non-Burning Abyss monster on his field so that he would struggle to make his Dante and stuff like that and his Cherubini. I didn't realize he had an Ash that came in the clutch, but if he didn't have Ash in hand, my theory would have worked out because he did have two BAs. That's why I didn't want to just attack the tour guide, because then he could just basically normal graph and special summon Farfa, and that's way more powerful, to be honest, than him just having tour guide and Ash. So even though it didn't work out as well as I wanted it to, I still prevented him from busting both these out and getting more advantage. So he's just gonna make like a Dante and then go into not Cherubini, but he's gonna go into Beatrice. So fast forward. To be honest, if I was him, I would have went for Cherubini. I would have went for Cherubini and still made the Beatrice. So he's gonna basically bust out Graph, and what's gonna happen is Graph is gonna go ahead and special Scarm. Scarm is just gonna die, so he's gonna get M-Phase Scarm. And I'm just gonna get a free little upstart off of that, and that happens in damage step. So you know this is really safe. You can't really Ash that effect. He gets Seer, so he's playing it smart. He's not going for another tour guide, just in case of hand traps. I use Golden Lord to discard my rest to send his Beatrice. I do that before I commit anything else, so that he can't just like Farfa anything. And then I use L fusing with Squamata and Kaios. I'm gonna go into Construct now, and all he should have left is that one trap, that Dino Mishes. So press and play. I'm definitely going to play through that Banish. So he's going to chain Dino, discard the Seer. I think moving forward, maybe I should have chained L to my Golden Lord. Like when he chained Beatrice, I should chain L. Just so that I can summon Construct, so that way whatever he detaches off Dante, the separate chains would resolve around Construct dumping Aerial, and I can attack his grave. But I was scared of Farfa, so I didn't want to commit yet. So he banishes my Construct, discards Sir, brings back Dante. And since I got 2 mills, I went ahead and I dumped Core and I believe El Shaddol Few. No. I definitely didn't dump El Shaddol. I dumped Windy now that I'm thinking about it. So fast forward. Yeah, I dumped Windy and I special summoned Aerial because Contract banished. So like his Dino Mishes, funny enough, you guys, his Dino Mishes actually gave me a bit of a plus because it didn't negate my Construct, but it did put her in a banish zone, so that way I don't have to burn like the Resh on Construct. I just used the Resh to do that, and basically what it really did was nothing, because I was going to bring Construct back from the banish zone regardless. I was going to banish it off my Resh, so in a way it's like I plus because he really traded 2 cards for nothing, because like I still get Construct back, and this way I didn't have to go through the loops of trying to like link summon her, because I didn't really have that much field presence to start this playoff. So that was like really cool, the way I've been playing around Ice Prison, and not even around, playing through Ice Prison and playing through Dino Mishes. So I dump another Resh, gonna fast forward here, normal Hedgehog, link into the Shaddol link 2, and go into another Construct. And I think yes go is meaning like he's being impatient. So Core here, and I'm just gonna fast forward here. So as you guys can see, the play that I made off my Construct, I looped my spells and traps. So every play I made got me access to Resh, Schism, and El Shaddol Fusion. The 3 best back rows in my deck. I can absolutely just like dominate. Like even though he has Tour Guide and he has Dante, it doesn't matter. And if you guys notice, I had Construct and the other Shaddol Construct linked too. I could have attacked Dante. The reason why I didn't want to do that is because I didn't want him to grab Sir from his grave to his hand. So what I wanted to do was use my Resh to summon the Construct on his draw phase, so I can dump Aerial and go ahead and banish his Seer, because he only has 1 more Seer left. So I'm gonna summon Construct here, and Shaddolls do a lot on the opponent's turn. So like I'm gonna be making this play on his draw phase, and I still have 2 more plays to make on his turn. So I have like 3 playmakers right now, and I'm gonna go ahead and chain block, just playing around the Ash Blossom. And here he definitely came at me sideways. I don't cuss, I can't repeat this. But this right here, like I was already seeing signs of my opponent being impatient. And now he's just really like I didn't waste the energy on it. I was just like, man, it's not worth it. You're gonna wait. So I just brought this Squamata back off of the cross sheep. Yeah, that's what I said. I said you're not even worth the energy. You can wait. And I dumped Ariel, and as you guys can see, Ariel did indeed banish double Skarm and Seer. So that just kind of like slowed him down. I Squamata back. He normal Tear Guide. I'm gonna change Schism, and then I'm gonna go ahead and bust out my window. And I'm going to send his Tear Guide because I don't want Farfa to trigger right now. Just leave him with that. And then, that was a misclick. He's going to pass. So I'm going to start my turn off strong. I'm going to go into a fat Appaloosa, get my Resh and my core back off both those Doll Fusions. Set core, send it, bust out Golden Lord. Now he's going to go ahead and chain Phoenix Wing Wind Blast to my SHADDOLL Schism. And he's going to place it on top of the deck. It's so funny how I was playing through his traps. So like he was ice prisoning me, and I was specialing my cards back from the banish zone. He's Dino Mish me. I was like special summoning from the banish zone. He would imperm me, and I would just like basically play through it and summon another construct. And then he put my Schism on top of my deck, and then I drew it off a beast right here in this play. So it's like really hilarious, like all these traps he's using on me, and they're not even like stopping me. They're just making me take one step different to do the exact same thing he was trying to stop in the first place. So it's almost like his traps just weren't putting in work for him. So I drew the Schism off beast that he put on my deck. I summoned the Oppos so I can just take out the Farfa and the Dante Mill. I'm going to use the El Shaddai Fusion, summon my Construct. And then I go Con, Squam, and then I have Ariel and Falco because I dumped those two. And as you guys can see, I wanted to take the better targets that he had engraved before I attacked over his Dante. I still negated it with Oppo. I want him to have the bare minimum amount of cards to work with. And then I set my Falco, and I still have Incarnation and the Schism that he put on top of my deck, and I drew it off Beast. So I still kept the Schism. That's the funny part. Now here, the BA name he has is like Cowcap, and he has Farfa. So he really doesn't have that many good names to work. And I'm going to go after his graveyard again. So draw phase. And he just admitted defeat there. And he left. The plan, though, on the draw phase was definitely to activate Incarnation. Because I'm going to go ahead and check my graveyard to confirm. I have 2 Ariels that I've used. And I'm going to check my one as well. Boom. Oh, yeah, there's an Ariel in the bench zone. Dang! So I couldn't even make the play I wanted to make. Because I was done Ariel. So I suppose at that point, to make sure that it's just too overwhelming for him, I could just summon Construct off of Incarnation, dump a Windy, and use the Windy to go ahead and special summon out like a Squamata or a Beast or a Hedgehog, just to have way too much advantage. Like right now, this is too much. He has just Imperm Farfa up against everything I have. He wasn't going to win anyways. So yeah, I would say GG, but Bros is a little too disrespectful. So I think I just left on that one and didn't even say GG. But yeah, you guys see SHADDOLLs versus Burning Abyss. 100% was domination pretty much game 1 and 2. Even though he opened consistent interruption both duels, it was just that SHADDOLLs were playing through all those interruptions, just eating those traps, eating those hand traps, just playing through all of it and getting so much recovery and just recursion that Burning Abyss just couldn't keep up with the raw power of it. And my utility is better than his utility. I mean, the BAs and the SHADDOLLs are comparable. You know, Graph is like the Windy, Sur is like the Falco, you know, Skarm is like the Hedgehog. Farfa and Alic and like cards like that, like Barbar, are kind of like your Dragon and your Ariel and your Al Capone, you know, your SHADDOLL Al Colone, but they don't have a card like Winda. That's another thing. So it's like they have similar utility, but I think SHADDOLLs have better utility. They have a better grind game, and they have a better like matchup against the meta right now. That's my opinion though. But I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Lord Jesus Christ. Thy kingdom come, and thy will be done on earth just as it is in heaven. Please give us this day our daily bread, Lord, and please forgive us of our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, Father, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the glory, and the power forever. In the mighty name of Jesus I pray. Thank you, Father. Amen. Peace.